Hello everyone and welcome back to Moonmothgoddess Tarot. Thank you all so much for being here, for your continued love and support here on the channel. So today we're going to be doing a subscriber requested topic, and it is, will you reconcile and get back together? Okay, so this is going to be about your love connection with an ex-partner. Of whether or not you will reconcile with this person and if the two of you will get back together. Now, we do have 3 crystals out here for you all to choose from. For group number 1, you are this lemon yellow obsidian. For group number 2, we have pyrite. And then for group number 3, we have an autumn obsidian. Okay, we are going to be adding in one of these cards to help you with choosing, but if you already feel drawn to one of the crystals, you can go ahead and skip right to the timestamp. It'll take you directly to your reading. So let's pull. And what we're going to do for this reading is we're going to look at what your energy is and what the other person's energy is, okay? That will also help you to make sure that you've chosen the right pile. You do want to make sure that you resonate with at least one of those sides. And then we'll ask Spirit if you will reconcile and get back together with them. Do also keep in mind, that this is a general reading. Only take the messages that really fit for your situation. Don't force anything. I am also available for private readings. You can find my email in the description box, and I can send you more information once you send me an email. If you are a channel member, you do want to make sure that you are checking the community post. I did post something for you guys a few days ago, so you do want to make sure that you check that out as well. I know those of you that use, I think, the Safari browser, you may not see the community posts, and that goes for any YouTube channel. I think, I don't know, there's just something with the functionality that might be a little bit different with Safari. So if you're using YouTube, you want to make sure that you do, if possible, use a Google Chrome different browser so that you do see all of the functionality that is there, okay? So will you reconcile and get back together? Let's choose something for group 1. We have trust. Group 2. We have quenched. And group number 3, we have wanting. Okay, so group number 1, we have trust, and that is with the lemon yellow obsidian. Group number 2, we have quenched, and that is with the pyrite. Group number 3, we have wanting, and that is with the autumn obsidian. Okay, so those are the choices for today. Will you reconcile and get back together? Like I said, we are going to be doing a little energy check, yours versus theirs. And basically, we're going to be looking for not only what your feelings and energy are towards them, theirs towards you. It's more or less how one is feeling, maybe about the breakup or about reconciliation in general. Okay, so 3 groups. Timestamps are down below. Pause the video if you need more time, and I will see you at your reading. Hi, Group 1. So those of you that resonated with the Trust card and the Lemon Yellow Obsidian, this is going to be your reading today. And so we're finding out, will you reconcile and get back together? So I feel like what I want to start off with is looking at what the current energy is in your connection, okay? And then we'll go into splitting the two energies, yours and theirs. So what is the current energy in your connection with your person, Group 1? We have Justice. Hierophant. There's the Ten of Swords. There's the ending. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. We've got Libra energy here. Some of you might be dealing with an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. The Empress. Knight of Swords, okay. Ten of Cups in reverse and the Four of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. Okay, so we've got the ending there, but I still feel that there is a lot of love that's here between you and this person. And of course, all of you are going to have some very different reasons for the breakup, but it feels like someone here, now this is air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is also Taurus and Libra energy, okay, which we do have both of those up there. Someone is, it feels like maybe a little bit of anger, okay. Someone who might be feeling a little bit defensive at this time, maybe even wanting to confront something, wanting to say something. Maybe someone who wants to speak their truth to the other. And with the Ten of Cups energy here in reverse, Ten of Cups in reverse is a feeling of unhappiness, a feeling of discontent, not feeling satisfied. And the Four of Pentacles is basically indicating that there is a fear of loss. So it could be that even though the breakup has happened, that someone is still very much holding on to the connection. Now, some of you, there may have been jealousy, possessiveness, controlling nature, behavior, okay? Someone may have feel that they were wronged by the other. Justice usually shows up in a reading when there has been some type of injustice. And justice is about honesty, fairness, balance, integrity, doing the right thing, kind of following our moral code, being an honest person, being a good person. It can also be about righting past wrongs, okay? So the Empress is here, which is about nurturing something, loving something or someone. It's also about expansion and growth. So it feels that there is still a desire here to try to make things work, okay? The Knight of Pentacles is still very much thinking about long-term in terms of commitment. Three of Wands is about foresight, thinking ahead, planning ahead. It can also be an energy of longing and waiting, meaning that someone might be waiting for the other to return or to hear something, like especially if some of you are in no contact right now. Someone may also be a little shut down, okay? With the Four of Pentacles, we can see the body language in this card is very closed off, especially surrounding the heart space. The Two of Wands is about making choices, about plans. It can also be that you and this person at this time are at a crossroads. And perhaps it is about making a decision about whether or not the two of you can resolve something here to try to make things right, to try to give the connection a second chance. One person might be more open, ready, and willing right now, where the other person might be like, hold on a second, I need time to think about this. I still feel upset. I still feel angry. Things of that nature. Okay. We have the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. So yeah, it looks like there is, like, the crossroad here is around whether or not to maybe meet up, talk to each other, to try to collaborate here, which is basically trying to work things out, to try to reconcile, okay? Both of these can be about reconciliation. We do have the Five of Cups here as well. The Five of Cups is about grief, sadness. It could be grief over the loss of the relationship. It may also be that someone said something, did something in which we can be feeling ashamed. We can be feeling guilty. We can be feeling remorseful. Ten of Swords can also symbolize betrayal. So some of you, it could have been that there may have been some type of betrayal that's here. Knight of Swords is a very warrior-like energy. So it could be that there's someone here, like I said, that's feeling upset, angry, confrontational, defensive. It may also be that someone has a little bit of a temper. Okay. Said some not so nice things to the other. Sometimes it can be the tone in our voice. It can sometimes be when we just kind of blurt something out and say something, sometimes that we don't mean, kind of like speaking first and thinking about it later. So yeah, it still feels, like I said, very much that there's still love. Look at that. King of Cups is there, Lovers, and the Four of Wands. Some of you, there may have been, like I said, betrayal here. Okay. I'm not getting that for all of you, but there's definitely an energy present here of a third party where there may have been cheating. Okay. Making a mistake, cheating. So someone could be feeling confused, indecisive about whether or not, especially if that's you and there has been betrayal and this person has hurt you, lied to you, manipulated, betrayed, hid something from you. It could be deciding whether or not you can heal, whether or not we're willing to try to work things out, okay, is where we're at. So that's overall, okay, general energy of what's going on right now. If that sounds like what you're dealing with, we're going to keep going. Like I said, I am going to separate both energies. And we're going to look at what your feelings and energy are towards them, how you feel about reconciling. And then we're going to look at the other person. I think I'm going to use 2 different decks. We're actually going to move this down here, so we have some space. And I think we'll use this one for the other person. So we'll do yours first. And even though I'm setting the intention that this is going to be your deck and your energy, it might come through because energy is fluid, okay? Within a tarot reading, it's fluid. So Spirit might bring it through the other way. So you want to make sure that you resonate with at least one of these. If you don't, choose a different group, okay? Okay, my battery died, so we're going to have to start this over again. We're going to start with your side and then we'll do their side. So group 1, the viewer, what are your feelings and energy towards your person? Two of Swords in reverse, 3 of Swords, 6 of Wands, Lovers, 2 of Cups. Okay. So this is you know, most definitely you're still in love with this person. Yeah, look at that. The Empress, the Lovers, the Two of Cups, the Queen of Cups. So I can imagine with all of this feeling, all of this emotion, this is feeling very hurt. Okay? Very, very hurt. I most definitely feel that you are wanting reconciliation here. We do have Gemini, Taurus, Libra, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces energy here. I feel that you feel a very strong connection to this person, okay? You might feel like this person is your divine counterpart, that they're your soulmate. And it could be that you're wanting some type of recognition, validation, appreciation. You're wanting them to acknowledge and see the connection in the same way that you do. That it is something that it is very strong, something that is, I would feel, absolutely worth fighting for. I feel like you feel very hurt and confused with all of this. The Three of Swords can certainly be a lot of emotional turmoil, a deep pain. It is having to deal with loss. So I can imagine a lot of grief. Okay. Some of you might still even be like in a state of denial, like the disbelief, the shock of the relationship ending. Wanting clarity, answers. Okay, so let's pull an oracle here. We've got roll the dice, and it says taking a risk, roll with it, and a risky situation. A risky situation. Okay, so why is group 1 feeling that it's a risky situation? Two of Wands. Page of Wands. And the Eight of Pentacles. Some of you might be thinking about the amount of effort that you've already put into the connection and whether or not you should continue. Like I said, your energy looks very much like you do want to get back together. And maybe for some of you, you've already told that person that you want to work things out with them. You could be waiting on what their decision is going to be. And if that is the case, and let's just say if the answer is no, you know, with the Page of Wands here, this is about starting down a new path, a new journey. So some of you might also be kind of like at that crossroads where you're like, you know, I really love this person. I really care about them. I really feel like we have a strong connection. I want to continue to nurture it, to expand, to grow. I want to be able to overcome the challenges, the obstacles that we have here and start over again with new energy. It could even be like you working on yourself, okay? And wanting to put in more effort. But it may also be like, okay, well, if this person chooses, right, not to renew this connection, then I can shift the focus towards myself and to focus on, you know, other things. All right, so let's look at the other person's energy. What are their feelings and energy towards you? Group 1, Four of Wands. Eight of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, okay, Six of Wands, Queen of Cups. Look at that. There's definitely soulmate energy here. Six of Pentacles at the bottom with the Empress. Five of Cups. Death, Four of Cups. Ten of Swords, there's the Emperor. Okay, some of you, this may, in fact, now that I think about it, going back to the beginning where we saw the Judgment, I'm sorry, the Justice card and the Hierophant, some of you, this might be a spouse, okay? If you're going through divorce, if you are separated right now, so it kind of feels that, you know, this person is hurting too, okay? Like I said, there's still a lot of love here. This person might be someone who does have regrets or is feeling guilt even for something that was said or done. Really depending on, you know, who broke up with who, or if it was a mutual decision. There could be a lot of those energies there as well. Now, I do feel like when I'm seeing this Eight of Wands here, like I said, it kind of feels that from, at least from your energy, you do want to have a reconciliation with this person. The Eight of Wands can be about back and forth communication sometimes. So it may even be that you have sent messages to this person telling them, I still love you. I still want to be with you. I want to get back together with you. Let's meet up. Let's talk. Let's this. And I feel like this person there is recognition here about the connection and the love and caring for each other here. Reconciliation is on the mind. But with the Seven of Pentacles here, this is really taking time to reassess, okay? Sometimes when we're in that Seven of Pentacles energy, we might feel frustrated because we've invested time and energy. And here we're basically looking at how far we've come, where we're at now. There are reasons that the breakup happened, okay? For each of you, it's going to be different reasons. But, you know, we're basically looking at something here and saying, okay, do I like what this is turning into? Do I like what this has become, what our relationship has become, or who we have become in this connection? So let's look at the Seven of Pentacles here. Maybe trust is an issue here for some of you. Five of Cups. Or trust was broken, perhaps. Page of Wands. And the Ten of Wands. Yeah. So this person could certainly be feeling a little bit, you know, overwhelmed. I am seeing the Hangman here with the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom. So I feel like much like you, they too are trying to decide whether or not you guys start over and try again, or if each of you are going your separate ways, okay? The Hangman is about taking a pause. It is about a change of perspective. Sometimes when we're in a situation, it's hard for us to see clearly. Sometimes we do need to take a step back in order to gain clarity. And to also, because if the plan here, right, could be reconciliation, sometimes if we reconcile too quickly, right, we don't really have that time to reflect. We don't have time to really work on changing certain patterns, certain behaviors. We're just, and then we end up right back at square one, where the same fight comes up, the same argument. And you know, it's not really helping. It's not really helping to progress. So I feel like with the Hangman, you know, where this person is indecisive at this time, not really sure how to move forward. We do have the Ace of Pentacles, so I feel like this person certainly has an awareness that the opportunity is here to start over. And it feels like there is indecision on this side, okay? We have the Collector of Hearts, a heartbreaker, many love interests, not ready to settle down. Okay, now that may not be for all of you, but maybe some of you, this has been a situation where this person was not committing maybe in the way that they wanted to, or I'm sorry, not committing in the way that they should have been, especially for those of you where there may have been betrayal, okay? Heartbreaker, many love interests. And then we have the issue of maybe an issue with trust. Let's see. Spirit, tell me a little bit more about this Collector of Hearts here. Ace of Wands. Nine of Cups and the Two of Swords. Knight of Wands is at the bottom. You know, maybe for some of you, this could have been a person who you weren't even committed to. You guys were maybe dating each other and not even in a committed relationship. You know, you could be dealing with a situation or a person who, with the Knight of Wands energy, it can be, especially with the Collector of Hearts being here, the Knight of Wands takes on more of an energy that is unreliable. Okay? This is kind of where I feel like the Knight of Wands kind of gets a bad rap as the archetype of the player. Because the Knight of Wands is a very fast moving energy. It's very intense. It's very passionate, but it can also be destructive, right? Fire can be destructive. It can also be intense and short-lived, short bursts, right, of this energy. So the Ace of Wands has to do with passion, desire, sensuality. The wands have to do with sensuality. So now that I look at your roll the dice over here, taking a risk and roll with it, a risky situation, some of you may have been really maybe even hoping for a deeper level of commitment with this person over here. Or maybe, you know, initially it could have started off as something very physical, right? And starting to say, okay, we're feeling deeper feelings, emotions that are here. What about commitment, right? And if this person is someone who is still in an energy here of exploring or wanting to explore, the Nine of Cups can sometimes be about focusing on ourselves, okay? Sometimes it can take on an energy of being a little bit more selfish in terms of our desires, because the Nine of Cups has to do with personal happiness, personal satisfaction, okay? So, like I said, I don't feel like this part of the message is for all of you, but for those of you that could be dealing with someone who has fears of commitment, settling down, like this card is implying, a heartbreaker, you know, that could be where you were rolling the dice to say, okay, let's see if I can get this person to rein it in and settle down, to try to, you know, turn this into something deeper or more. If you're not dealing with that, I mean, it could also be the vice versa too, where this person might see that you're the heartbreaker. You're the one that has the wild spirit. You know, where you could be the one who's like, wasn't about commitment, wasn't about long-term relationship. And then you caught feelings and you're like, okay, you know? So take it how it resonates, but that's where we're at here. So I want to ask Spirit here how you feel about reconciliation versus how they feel about it. But what I can kind of see from this person's energy over here is they're kind of like, and like I said, it kind of feels like both of you have that energy. You know, I feel like there's love here, there's feelings here. And you both kind of like want to try to make it work. But at the same time, there could very well be an energy within you about a new path, you know? And if this is the end, that it almost kind of feels like bringing the self to a space of acceptance and being able to move forward. So let's ask Spirit here, how do you feel about reconciliation? Group 1. Okay. So King of Cups, right? And it's interesting how we have the King of Cups and Queen of Cups here, and then it's also coming up out of here. So definitely soulmate energy. 10 of Pentacles is long-term commitment. Okay. Now, the 5 of Swords is also here. It came out with that. So, you know, if the two of you have been doing a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing, there's been a lot of past actions that have hurt, right, on both sides. The 5 of Swords is also being very defensive. It can also be when we are feeling like a victim to mistreatment. There could be a lot of, you know, if this person has done something wrong, you could feel resentful. You could feel angry. It may also be that you're noticing where potentially the connection has gotten toxic. Okay, so even as much as you might love that person and want to be with them, there's also a part of you that's very protective of your heart space. And an understanding here that if you're going to get back together with them, something needs to change, right? And if trust has been broken, because the 5 of Swords can certainly be about betrayal. Now, that could be that you've betrayed them, they've betrayed you, or the two of you have betrayed each other. That can even be something that takes place there. Okay? So yeah, it kind of feels like, again, a little bit of a mixed energy. Like, I love this person, I care about them, I want to be with them, but at the same time, this has to change. Okay? This is intense. So let's look at how they're feeling about reconciling with you. Empress, Death, and the Page of Swords. Yeah, and I feel like the same on their side. You know, we've got the Empress here, which is about love, nurturing. The Death card is change, transformation. It kind of feels like this person, just like you, it feels like both of you. You know, like you both, it almost feels like a, I almost want to say like love-hate with that, like a love-hate relationship. Like I love you so much, but you also drive me crazy. You get on my nerves. You irritate me. Like, and maybe, like I said, for some of you where there has maybe trust has been an issue here. So it kind of feels like both of you are kind of like in the same space here. Page of Swords is a need for more information, though, So, earlier we saw the Hangman, right, where the person is indecisive. Hangman is about enlightenment and about insight. And like I said, sometimes we need to take a step back from something or someone in order for us to see things clearly. Because there's clearly love here. Let's look at this Page of Swords. Temperance. Hermit. Yeah. So they might be feeling like they're not quite ready yet. They need some more time to reflect. They might need time to heal. This is a more withdrawn energy, so it's kind of like I need to be alone right now. Page of Cups. Yeah, they might need some time to think about their feelings, or to even communicate their feelings to you. So what we want to do now, because, okay, this is where the two of you are at. We want to ask Spirit here, will you reconcile and get back together? Now, with this question, I want you to keep in mind, whenever we ask the tarot, and I tell private reading clients the same thing, breakup energy can be very chaotic. It can vary from day to day, minute by minute, right? Especially when breakups first happen, the first couple of weeks, months, you're all over the place, especially emotionally, mentally. One minute you might be like, I'm so angry and I can't stand this person. And the next minute you're crying and I love them and I want to be with them. And then back to anger again. So, we might feel like, okay, I love this person. I want to be back together. And then the next minute, no, I don't. So sometimes we need to just let the energies just kind of settle. Okay. When we're asking the tarot questions about the future, nothing is set in stone. Energies can always change. Okay. Each of you also have your own free will. So we're just going to take a peek and look at what's coming through. Will you reconcile and get back together with this person? Knight of Swords. Will you reconcile and get back together? Four of Wands. The Star. Okay. Hermit in reverse. Five of Wands. Okay, so I feel that the answer is yes, okay? But I feel like there's a need for sorting through one's thoughts, emotions. I feel that you and this person have the power to overcome the challenges that you do have, but self-reflection is something that is needed. Okay? Sometimes there can be finger pointing. They're the issue, they're the problem, and we might not be looking at the energy that we also bring into the mix. The Star is about renewal, hope, faith, trust, belief. And if there are trust issues here, of course, trust takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, okay? But healing is possible. Restoring faith and trust in one another is possible. The Chariot is about having willpower. It's also, you know, the Chariot is about balancing two opposing forces of energy. And right now, right, you and this other person are those two opposing forces. You have to find alignment with each other. That is through perhaps talking about your differences and finding some type of compromise, finding some type of solution, being able to look within yourself, right? At healing we need to do, perhaps a change of perspective, learning to speak up for ourselves, learning to speak truth. It may also be for some of you, especially for those of you that are quick-tempered, learning to kind of tone it down, okay? Watching our words. Drop in the defenses. Learning to be more loving, more nurturing, more empathetic, a better listener, a better communicator. If someone is feeling confused, right, indecisive, don't push, don't force on either side. Okay, but I certainly feel like reconciliation is possible here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you. Group number 1, I do hope this reading was helpful for you all, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, group 2. So those of you that resonated with Quenched and the Pyrite, this is going to be your reading today. And so we're finding out if you will reconcile and get back together with your person. So before we get into looking at your feelings and energy towards them, their feelings and energy towards you, and then asking about reconciliation, we're going to look at what the present energy is in your connection. This will also be something that will help you to make sure that you have chosen the right group. Okay, so let's look at that first. Group number 2. What is the present energy in your connection with your person? 5 of Swords in reverse. Three of Wands. The World. I'm going to take that in reverse. 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Three of Cups. Oh. Okay. Page of Wands, the Lovers. Okay. Okay, so the 5 of Wands energy that we started off with in reverse, this looks like there has been a falling out here, okay? Maybe some type of argument or fight where things kind of came to an ending here. Some of you, I'm feeling that you are absolutely zero contact with this person. For others of you, I feel like it's a situation where it's like minimal contact, and then when you guys are in minimal contact, you end up fighting with each other. Okay? I certainly feel like there is missing each other. I'm not picking up for all of you, but I am seeing an energy here of one of you, okay, here, who may be, how do I want to say that? It feels like, how do I phrase that? Basically like a person who's acting unbothered, okay? Unbothered. And it feels like choosing not to deal with it and just kind of like off, out with friends. It may even be like going to immediately dating, flirting. Okay. Now, like I said, I don't think that's all of you, but I'm definitely seeing that energy here. Okay. I want to look at Three of Wands here. The Moon. Yeah. So the Three of Wands is waiting, basically waiting, and anticipation, expectations. And with the Moon being present, it feels like either, I don't want to say both of you, because this feels like one of you is in a place of like, I'm waiting to see if this person will come back. And the other person is just kind of like off doing their own thing. And that could be leaving one in a place of uncertainty about whether or not like this is really the end. Is it really over? There's the Ten of Swords. That's the ending. And Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. So it feels like someone here in this connection is waiting to see if the other is going to come back, basically. Why is this Five of Wands here? The High Priestess. Nine of Cups. I feel like someone's asking themselves here whether or not they're really happy. If they're really happy. Seven of Wands and the Four of Cups and the Seven of Swords. So someone is being avoidant here, running. Seven of Swords can also be about escapism. Okay? This is turning something down. This is rejection, a feeling of indifference, pushing something away. This is being on the defense, blocking. Some of you, this person might have you blocked, or you might have them blocked. Clarify this Lovers here. Knight of Wands. Chariot in reverse. So yeah, it kind of feels like there's a block here with things progressing, like they've come to a halt. Like one person might want to reconcile where the other person's like, no. Okay, that's what this feels like. So that's the energy that's coming through. We've got Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Gemini, and Virgo. Yeah. It feels like one person's on board, ready to reconcile, waiting for the other to come back, and the other person's like, no. Okay? That's what we've got. That's the situation we're dealing with here. So okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to split out the two energies. We're going to look at what your feelings and energy are towards them, their feelings and energy towards you. how you feel about reconciling, how they feel about reconciling, and then we're going to ask Spirit if you will reconcile and get back together. And as I told group 1, whenever we ask tarot questions about the future, the tarot looks at what the present energy is to make a predicted outcome of what is possible given where the energy is right now. The tarot does not dictate our future, okay? It is our free will decisions and the energy trajectory, right? And both you and the other person have free will. Also, breakup energy sometimes can be very chaotic. It can change from day to day, you know, by the hour, especially if it's a fresh breakup. Sometimes we do need to wait until energies have kind of settled a little bit to get a clearer picture. But we'll certainly give a little look to see what's going on, where the energy is kind of directed at this point. This is going to be your deck, and I'm going to use another one for the other person. So group number 2. What are your feelings and energy towards them? Seven of Wands, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, 3 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. And we have Death at the bottom. Ooh, with the 5 of Swords. Okay. I mean, with the Death card being present, both of these are endings here. The 3 of Swords and the Death card. 3 of Swords is certainly feeling pain. Heartbreak. And some of you might feel very slighted by this person, the 5 of Swords. We can feel angry. We can feel resentful. We can feel very hurt or betrayed by a person's words, by a person's actions. You can be feeling very confused right now, very emotionally overwhelmed. You can be trying to think of ways of like, how can we make this work? How can we overcome these challenges that we're dealing with? I feel like despite of all of this that's going on, that you have shifted focus on yourself, which is a good thing. You know, I certainly feel like it's a good thing, because there's like I said, there's pain that's here, but the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles is about working on yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's definitely a good thing. You know, if there were certain things that you said or did wrong, and you're like, okay, I need to work on myself. I need to work on my anger. I need to work on how I say things, my tone of my voice. Sometimes the 5 of Swords, we can be very defensive, aggressive, confrontational, very negative. We can say a lot of negative things. I'm going to pull your Oracle card now. Got Scorpio energy here. We've got consuming passion. It says infatuation, desires, and chemistry that you feel with another person. I do have to cover up some of this image though, or it's the words down here. Some of them are not appropriate. Consumed. Okay, let's look at the other person here. What are their feelings and energy towards you? 6 of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Swords. Okay. There's the Tower. So I don't know who, you know, of course, who broke up with who. But I'm seeing the Three of Cups over here and the Fool. So this might be the person, because remember the energy that we were looking at earlier, it kind of like, remember I was saying that there's someone in the connection that looks like they're just off and into a new connection. It might be them, because the Two of Swords here is confusion, indecision, and it feels like whether or not to reciprocate, to put any more effort here. The Nine of Pentacles is being single, independent. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like a person who's not wanting to invest into a commitment. So this energy right here feels like starting over, starting new with someone new. Okay? And the Tower is about the breakdown of a relationship. Something that has fallen apart, something that's ended. Some of you could have been an abrupt ending, where this person may have ended things. It may also be that, you know, you could be dealing with a person who ended things abruptly with you and started dating someone else. Or you even finding out, because the Tower can also be something that is shocking. So this might be a person who, like I said, who's just up and it could even be like a friend, going out with friends, being single, enjoying their time. The Fool energy is about opening oneself up to possibilities. And the Ace of Cups is new love. Could be new love. So I can going back over here, I can see why, you know, there's a lot of anger here, a lot of feeling very hurt, maybe betrayed. You know, the Five of Wands can also sometimes be about competition, jealousy, envy. So if this person has a friend that they've been hanging out with, that they've been going out with, or that they're dating someone new, you know, you can certainly feel like you're in competition with this other person and wanting to be seen by them, wanting to be like, how about me? Let's pull something over here for them. The Rocking Horse, indecision, lack of consistency on and off relationship. So maybe like they are with you and then they break up with you and go be with someone else and then come back again and then with someone else. You know, maybe the struggle that you're also having here is trying to understand why maybe this person isn't putting in more effort. Like if this person's ever going to change, if they're going to change. Because this is like not committing here, not investing, not nurturing your relationship. You know, where that Page of Pentacles is a very small investment, bare minimum. Still wanting to be free, on and off. Lack of consistency. Okay, so Those are the energies that we've got here. What we want to do now is ask Spirit how you feel about reconciliation, how they feel about reconciliation, to get clear on that. How do you feel about reconciling with them? Page of Swords. Justice. King. Okay. So in your desire here to reconcile with them and for them, you guys to get back together, you want them to do right by you. You want them to fully commit themselves. Okay? The King of Pentacles is also about loyalty. So if this is a person who cannot commit for the long term, like you don't want to get back together with this person if they're not going to commit to you for the long term. You want a life partner. You want consistent, reliable, dependable. So for you, the Page of Swords energy is observing, getting more information. You're not just going to let that person back in. So maybe, especially if this has been an off and on thing here, you know, this is you wanting answers, wanting truth, wanting clarity, observing them, watching them, because this, of course, could get tiring, right? The Five of Swords could also be when a person's, there's psychological stuff, mind games, right? That the person plays. I want you, I don't want you. I want to commit, I don't want to commit. And, you know, that can be very painful. So I feel like in the way that you want to reconcile, you want them to be honest, to be loyal, to be reliable, to be a good partner, essentially. So let's look at how they feel about reconciling with you. Ten of Swords. No. Nope. This feels like a lot of, with the Knight of Swords in reverse, this is a lot of words, no action. The Lovers in reverse is when something is out of alignment for us, out of balance. It can be a one-sided thing, meaning that you want it more than they want it. The Ten of Swords is an ending. So, and then we have the Death card at the bottom. So for them right now, things are done. Okay, remember how at the very beginning, we were looking at the differences in energy between, I said someone really wants to and the other person doesn't. The Four of Cups energy is boredom, loss of interest, rejection, turning something down, and being emotionally unavailable, pushing someone away. That's them. Or it could be you, depending on which side of this you resonate with. I don't feel like this person is willing to give this to you, group 2. So what we want to do now is we're going to ask Spirit here, will you reconcile and get back together? Now, what I would say, if this person has a tendency to come in and out of your life like that, you know, some of you have very strong boundaries, and I really admire that about you, but sometimes I know that there's others of you that keep letting this go on and on and on, year after year after year, where the person just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. And I feel like, okay, after one time that this person has done to you and you let them in the second time, if they do it again, it needs to be done. You know, because you have to think about if this is you over here, what this is doing to you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Okay? I feel like for you, it's about recognizing what your worth is. You are deserving of this, right? You are. And if this person is that inconsistent, not willing to give, you've got to keep your sights set on the King of Pentacles and not take less than that. So will you reconcile and get back together? Group number 2. 9 of Cups, Temperance. Magician. Queen of Pentacles. I don't like that 5 of Swords is here. Why is this 5 of Swords here? 3 of Swords. Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay, so people can change, right? We know that, but they have to want to. They have to want to change. And although there could certainly be, you know, feelings between the two of you, the Queen of Pentacles wants security. She wants the king, basically, right? She wants that person to be the king for her. And I feel, honestly, like this person could be a little selfish, okay, for some of you, selfish. They might be a person who has empty promises, okay? It kind of feels like this cycle that this person has, that they're kind of stuck in here. Let's see, why is the 9 of Cups here? 9 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, and there's the Devil. Yeah, it feels like I'm kind of figuring that it's them, okay? With the Devil energy here, the Devil is about desires, carnal desires. It's also about lies, manipulation, illusion. It's also about attachment, obsession. So for some of you, this might be the type of connection that kind of keeps you on the hook, okay? With a person who can come towards you, tell you what you want to hear, to make amends with you, to, you know, say, I'm committed, I'm here. But I feel like this person has to have, like I said, the willingness to change. The Magician is also about willpower, right? To truly invest into something. And I have a feeling that some of you are dealing with a person who has a lot of bad habits. They could be a person who is manipulative or who knows exactly what to say to you so that you let them back in. And then we're going through the whole situation again. Clarify the Magician here, the 2 of Swords, Emperor. You know, I want to say that it's possible, you know, certainly that this person does show up again to reconcile with you and to get back together. But until this person changes, it feels like you, and I'm seeing the Hangman here at the bottom. It kind of feels like if they come back in again, you're running into the same issue, okay? And this is where I feel like your boundaries are going to be needed, because like I said, okay, if the person does it one time, and says, okay, I'm not feeling this connection, let me go do my own thing. But if they keep doing it over and over and over again, and you're not getting anywhere, the Hangman can be about stagnancy, So don't let this person, if this person does this to you, don't let them string you along, right? I'm seeing you as the queen there, waiting for that King of Pentacles. And I honestly feel like, of course, everybody has the potential to change, to grow, to step up, and to create a relationship that is long-lasting and happy and, fulfilling. But this person really needs, first off, they need to figure out what they want, what they're doing. There could be a lot of toxic habits or patterns of behavior. There could be some addictions there. I almost feel like I want to ask Spirit here, should you give this person another chance? The Empress and the Hierophant. Should you give this person another chance? We got the Lovers here. And the Four of Swords in reverse. Now, I feel with this that, of course it's your choice here. The Lovers card is about making a choice of the heart. If your heart is saying to you, I want to give this person another chance, I believe in the connection that we have, do that. But there's also a need for you to make sure that this person is actually in alignment with what your desires are when it comes to love and connection with someone. Are they in alignment with you? Do they want the same thing as you want? Are you working towards a shared vision or goal for the future for a relationship with each other? Okay. With the Four of Swords in reverse, sometimes this can be when the mind is not in a stable place, very clear. So take some time to reflect, I feel like is what Spirit's saying here. Take some time to reflect. Think about what your vision of, whatever your perfect relationship is to you. Of course, no relationship is perfect, but whatever that vision is for you that you hold about a relationship between two people and the love that they share and the connection that they have, are you getting that from this person? And not some of the time, not once in a while, consistently. Are they showing up for you in the way that you need them to? Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, group number 2. I do hope this reading was helpful for you all, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, group 3. So those of you that resonated with the Wanting card and the Autumn Obsidian, this is going to be a reading. So we're finding out today, will you reconcile and get back together with your person? Before we ask that question, we're going to be first doing an energy check and looking at what the present energy is in your connection with your person. This will also be a piece of information that'll help you to make sure that you've chosen the right group. After that, we're going to kind of split out the energies, look at what your feelings and energy are towards them, theirs towards you. We'll look at how you feel about the idea of reconciling with them, how they feel about it, and then we'll ask Spirit if you will reconcile and get back together with them. Okay? And we might get some advice depending on how the energy kind of comes through, if it's a little challenging or difficult. So let's first start off with asking Spirit what the energy is in your connection with this person that you've had a breakup with or have ended things with. I realize some of you may not have even made it to a committed partnership, But some of you may have been dating, you know, someone. So we'll see what comes through. Group 3. What is the present energy in your connection with your person? Present energy. The Star, the Queen of Pentacles. Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. 2 of Swords. Ace of Swords. Eight of Swords. The Strength card. Knight of Wands, 10 of Swords. 9 of Wands. And the 7 of Cups. So we've also got Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. 7 of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. There's the Devil under that Knight of Cups. Okay, so our 10 of Swords here, that is the breakup energy right there. The 9 of Wands is the maybe very wounded, guarded energy, perhaps from the ending here. The 7 of Cups can certainly talk about feelings of emotional overwhelm, confusion, thinking about what our options are. It's also when, you know, a person might be maybe indecisive, okay? The 2 of Swords can also talk about conflicting thoughts or ideas. It's kind of like when we're in two minds about something. Perhaps it's like, should we or shouldn't we? Someone might be, you know, thinking negative things. I'm going to look at this a little bit deeper. But the 8 of Swords can be a self-imposed prison of negative thinking, negative mind. It can also be a lot of obsessing, okay? Obsessing over something. And sometimes that happens, right? When we break up with someone, we might really have that feeling of like, we have wanting here. I want to get back together with them, and we can't stop thinking about them over and over and over again. And so, you know, we started off with the Star. The Star is about healing. It's about peace, calm, you know, because certainly when we're going through a breakup, things can be very chaotic, right? So maybe right now has been a period where the 2 of you have been taking some time, quiet time, alone time, peace and quiet, healing, reflecting upon things. The Star can also be about renewal, reconciliation. It's also about restoring faith, trust, hope, and believing. Queen of Pentacles is here, which has to do with security, stability, nurturing something, investing in something. And so it does look like there is someone, right, who wants to make this work, to reconcile here. We could be waiting for a person's decision, for some type of clarity. Of course, there's always reasons why people break up. Sometimes we can be thinking about the negatives, right? Look, oh, I don't want to get back together with this person because of X, Y, Z. I want to look at that a little bit more. We also have the Strength card here. The Strength card is about gentleness, kindness, compassion, nurturing, empathy. It also has to do with us having self-control, right? We don't want to force someone to get back together with us. This is about us more or less being in a space where we have self-control. We're being calm, right? The Star is also a very calming energy. So we might have this desire, right? I desire to get back together with this person, but we're going to take some time to think about things. The Knight of Wands can also be about wanting to take action. Okay, it's about pursuit. So we're going to unpack this a little bit. We've already talked about that. So underneath the deck, we've got the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, which this is about potential, you know, potential for maybe reconciliation here with that Two of Cups. There's definitely feelings that are still involved here. There's still attraction, there's still desire. But again, relationships end for some reason. So I don't know what happened. This is a general reading, but we've got an ending here. The Seven of Wands. There might be a little bit, you know, of defensiveness here. Standing one's ground with the decision that's been made to end something. But the Seven of Wands can also be about facing challenge, facing adversity, and persevering through it, meaning that we're able to overcome it. And the Knight of Cups here could certainly be about presenting some kind of offer, right? Like, okay, let's try again. Let's talk about our feelings, the love that the two of us have. There's still potential for us to heal this, to fix this, to mend this, to reconcile here. But we've also got the Devil and the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. So someone might be a little fearful, okay, of either committing for the long term or recommitting into this relationship. If either of you, okay, without pointing fingers, if either of you have had any unhealthy or toxic patterns of behavior in the relationship, the Devil is a representation of that. The Devil can be about lies, control, possessiveness, emotional manipulation. Someone might feel trapped, okay, especially with the idea of a long-term relationship or commitment, okay? Sometimes it can really put us in a place of fear. The Devil energy gives us that, you know, sometimes the feeling of being bound, stuck, trapped. Sometimes the Devil can talk about toxicity. So I don't know what your story is with this person, but sometimes this can be some unhealthy, like I said, patterns of behavior that a person might have that one needs to work on. Okay, so I want to look at that Eight of Swords here. I've also got Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Three of Cups. Yeah, some of you might even be worried about the other one. Like, are they dating already? Do they want to date other people? Some of you might be worried about that. Or they could be worried about that with you. Like, have you already moved on? Are you already dating someone else? Aquarius. This can also be fears surrounding reconciling, starting over. Five of Swords, the Justice card is at the bottom with the Chariot and the Page of Swords. So some of you, there might be some communication issues here. This can also be the energy of like fighting, arguing. Perhaps some of you may have had a falling out. There could have been hurtful words that were exchanged. Justice, I feel like with that, is about being able to resolve this, make amends. You know, justice has to do with respect, with loyalty, integrity, honesty, treating each other fairly. You know, this is Libra energy. Libra, 7th house energy. It's about balance, relationships, being able to find balance in that. So with Chariot here, this is Cancer. You know, this is about having the willpower to move forward, kind of connected to the Seven of Wands that we just saw earlier. This is about advancement forward. So in a way, it's kind of like saying with this page that we're wanting to know, is it possible for us to move past this energy, right? This fighting, this arguing, this defensiveness, this confrontation, aggressiveness, even things that, if there's trust issues here, right? A person who's been betrayed in the past, it may be that this person and you have had this kind of energy between the two of you, or it could even be stuff that we're bringing in from previous relationships, where it could make us have trust issues with relationships in general, or with trusting people. So that's the energy that we've got coming through, right? As what the present energy is in your connection. If this is you, we're going to keep going. But if it's not, you can go ahead and choose a different group. But now we're going to split out the energies here. And we're going to look at your energy first. And then we'll look at theirs. So what are your feelings and energy towards them? Five of Pentacles. This could certainly be feeling abandoned. It could also be that you've shut them out. Okay. Knight of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. Three of Wands. Ten of Swords. Yeah. Okay, so with your Knight of Cups energy here, I feel like you certainly do still have feelings towards this person. You do want to reconcile with them, but it may also be that you want them to put in more effort, okay? Because we started off with the Five of Pentacles, which is indicating lack. So maybe you feel like this person is not meeting your needs. They're not giving you enough, okay, of their time, of their effort, energy. The Three of Wands is more or less a feeling of waiting. It could also be expectations. And I feel like with the Queen of Swords being here, you know, you could certainly want to get back together with this person, but with the Queen there, this is having boundaries. This is speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself, protecting your energy. That if you are noticing that this person is not stepping up in the way that you need them to, that you're not just wanting them to just kind of come back in. You want them to have better energy. You're not going to stand for games, for minimal effort that's being put in. Maybe it's a need for them to be more open with their heart, with their feelings. We've got the Knight of Wands here and the Seven of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Page of Wands. Maybe some of you are seeing this person as someone who's, like I said, maybe not stepping up, who's being avoidant, who's running. It could even be something that's causing you frustration. Let's look at their side of things. Before we do that, let's pull one of these oracles. She's cute. Explore the waters. There's someone better. Keep your options open. Figure out what you really want. So yeah, maybe, like I said, you don't just want this person, it feels like, to come in the same way. you've got a boundary there, maybe that you set. Like you need to, if you're going to come in, my expectation is that you're going to put in more effort. So, you know, the Queen of Swords is about discernment. So again, she's going to have boundaries. She's not going to let someone play mind games with her. She wants honesty. She expects you to have stand-up behavior. And so in a way, I feel like you're being cautious, as you should, right? Using discernment with whether or not you should let that person back in. So part of you with there's someone better, you know, you could certainly be asking yourself, is it better for me to just focus on myself, keep my options open for other opportunities in love? Okay. What are their feelings and energy towards you? Page of Cups and Page of Wands. There's the Queen of Swords again. Just saw Three of Swords. The Fool, the Knight of Swords. And the King of Pentacles. Two of Wands at the bottom. Five of Swords. Let's look at this King of Pentacles. The Hermit. Five of Wands. Okay. So they've got an issue here with commitment. It feels like there's this energy within this person of perhaps not being ready to settle down, because the Page of Wands is about exploring. Okay? The Hermit is a withdrawn energy. It's about isolation, being alone, choosing to be alone. Six of Swords is moving on. It's detachment. Five of Wands has to do with conflict, differences. I feel like I want to look at this. Got Virgo energy here. Death. Three of Swords. High Priestess. Okay, so this person's intuition is telling them that they should end things with you. Okay? That they should end things. They should let it be done. Now I want to kind of go back and look at your... I'm going to pull their card here, but I want to go back and look at your Three of Wands. Perfect match, great chemistry, highly compatible, and a quick connection. A quick connection, is that what we're talking about here? What is the energy behind this, Spirit, this perfect match? Four of Pentacles. Ten of Wands and the Five of... Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not so much that I feel like that this has to do with you. It kind of feels like there's this, I think I want to kind of call it like an unsettled feeling that this person has, that this connection isn't quite it for them. Okay. And I feel like that's where there's this resistance here, the holding back from full on committing into that King of Pentacles energy, because there's something that tells them, and again, this is their intuition here, okay, that is telling them to end something here. So it makes me feel that maybe this person's higher self, right, is saying that you're not for them, that there's someone else out there for them. They're having this feeling of resistance, like they're not, like it's not flowing, right? Where it doesn't feel right to them. They feel like there's something lacking, something missing. Let's look at this Five of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. Four of Swords. This is more about reflection. Nine of Wands. Tower. Okay, yeah. So Tower is some big energy. The Tower is the breakdown of a false reality, right? So maybe for a time, right, the person thought, okay, you're that person for me. We're meant to be. But the Tower kind of helps to, it's divine redirection, basically. So it actually kind of makes me feel that Spirit's saying you and this person are not meant to be, you're not meant for each other, okay? Perhaps it was something that may have been a lesson. Because this is, in a way, it's kind of like a divine detour, okay? So if this person's intuition is saying that you're not the one, or it could be vice versa. You could resonate with this side where you're still looking for your divine match. You're still looking for the right person. And you're looking at this person like, I don't think they're the one. So I don't really want to invest myself fully over here. Okay. So take it how it resonates depending on what side you resonate with. But the Tower energy is not only the breakdown of a false reality, right? It's also about if this person and you had something that you were maybe building with each other. And oftentimes, right, with the Tower energy, we are building something that is not meant for us, right? That's why the Tower happens, because it's just the universe's way of trying to get us to let go of something that either was never meant to be in the first place, or something that is no longer has a purpose in our life, to help to shift us towards our destiny. And so sometimes that can be giving us some type of epiphany, some type of realization, and create some type of upheaval in our life to force us to let go, to redirect. Okay? So I feel like after a period of reflection that this person has had, they're finding why there is resistance there with, I want to say, fully committing or to getting back together. They might feel like there's this is most certainly a shift. Okay, a change. So what I want to do now is I want to look at how you feel, okay, about reconciling. I'm kind of feeling like, at least for them, reconciliation is a no-go. But let's look at your energy first. How do you feel about reconciling with them? Knight of Pentacles. The Tower. Yeah. You, I feel like, are wanting something that's gonna last. Something that's solid. Something that's stable, secure. And I feel like if you're seeing that this person is not willing to invest more than they have, you're willing to let them go. Okay? Let's look at you know, you could be saying to yourself too, like, this isn't enough. I need more. How do they feel about reconciling with, I don't know if I'm going to take that. How do they feel about reconciling with you? Tower. Wow. All these towers here. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel that both of you might kind of feel like it's done. You know? Is there really any point of trying to hold on to it? Because like I said, I kind of get this idea here that if this person's intuition is telling them you're not the one, and this tower is kind of showing up on both of your sides, you're both being redirected. Meaning that breakup has happened for a reason. Okay? Divine intervention. Yeah, this is feeling very back and forth here. The Fool is about being free. This is release. So what is this about wanting? Wanting what? 8 of Pentacles, effort, commitment, dedication. Page of Pentacles in reverse. And this is probably from a person who's not really investing. It's wanting effort. Right? And when we invest into something, right? Because let's just take it from your side over here, right? You want someone who's going to invest, and maybe they're not doing that. From their side of things, you know, when we're in that Page of Pentacles energy, we feel an eagerness to want to invest into something, right? To commit our time and our energy. But if there's something here that's blocking this person from like, I don't know if I really feel like I should invest here. It's kind of like their life is taking them in a I mean, for both of you, I feel like in a different direction here. So let's now ask Spirit here, will you reconcile and get back together? But looking at this with all these towers, I want to say it's probably that, you know, you are not for each other, okay, any longer. Maybe, you know, for a time. But I think that you're both being divinely redirected. Will you reconcile and get back together? Eight of Wands. Ace of Cups. Death. Judgment. Yeah. See? Okay. So you both have someone else, okay, that you're meant to align with. This is this is new love coming in. This feels like this is your both of your destined partners, okay, are coming in for you. So it's kind of like your story's over. Okay? There's maybe a lot of transformation, a lot of lessons that have come from this experience that you've had with this person. Maybe a lot of healing, a lot of growth. You're both being redirected towards your destined partners, which is beautiful. Okay? The way that Spirit is kind of showing this. Sometimes we don't understand, right? Why certain things come to an end, why things have to play out and happen the way they do. But this is a beautiful, I feel like, and I know going through it may not feel so pretty, but I feel like this is a very good example. I'm getting chills as I say that. A very good example of the way in which sometimes the universe shows us sign after sign after sign to let go, let go, let go, because it's trying to create space in your life for the person that you are meant to be with. Okay? It's a lot of Scorpio energy here. Yeah. This is both leading you towards the people that you are meant to be with. So it's kind of like your time and your story's over. And you have these, you each have these beautiful connections that are coming in. And it could even be that for both of you, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of personal growth and transformation. You know, for you, it could be learning what your worth is, right? If this person had been giving you less than you were deserving of, where they could really be learning to be more open to receive, more to giving, to investing, and a lot of lessons that they have to learn. And ultimately, it is preparing both of you for higher level partners, soulmates, the people that you're meant to be with. And I feel like it's going to be happening a lot faster probably than each of you probably think. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you, group 3. I do hope this reading was helpful for you all, and I will see you in the next one.